Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have a little Christmas special. We're looking at a small commercial that's an homage to Home Alone, starring Macaulay Culkin. Very simple and straightforward commercial, short and sweet, with beloved actor from my childhood. This commercial is gonna hit home for many people. It's a classic reference to the battle plan from Home Alone 2. It looks very evenly and nicely lit. We have a practical light that's a lamp, or at least that's what they're trying to make this look like, as if it's lit by this practical lamp. What it is in reality is probably a 4x light panel that's hanging directly above the table, shooting down. You can kind of tell by how this star is reflecting some of this light. You can also tell by the direction of the shadow in his hands that it's coming from up there. I think they kept the practical light on. They just added a bunch of lighting layers to it. This is lit very much like a TV commercial. It's such an eye candy to look at. This lighting style is very consistent with what we're about to see outside. To begin with, broad strokes, big light source coming from the left. Honestly, it could be anything, but my best guess, 6 or 8 by size, if it's a diffusion. It might as well be something like a Light Matte 4, which would do the exact same thing. We can see that his hair is lit too, so a good guess would be there's something above him. Could be either another light matte or a tube. It's ever more obvious also if you look at the highlight in his ear. It's catching some of the light from up there. So far we have 2 light sources. It's a big panel on the left. It's a panel above him. Obviously all the practical lights in the background, all the Christmas lights. You know what? This blue tone in the background is telling me that there's a chance that they shot the whole thing in 3200 Kelvin and they adjusted the lights accordingly. So these panels above, they're much warmer. These Christmas lights are rendering as almost white. There's a little bit of a yellow tint to them. Naturally, these kind of lights are at 2700 Kelvin, just like these little lights behind me. I think they're also about 2700 to 3000, which is still warmer than 3200. So you get just a little hint of yellow in them, but very close to white.
I'm just worried about Mom being back.
These master shots are always interesting to dissect. They're the most challenging to do. You simply cannot get away with smaller fixtures. So right off the bat, we can see that this part of the house is casting a shadow. We can clearly tell that the direction of the light is somewhere there. It could be a 12 by or 20 by diffusion frame that is spreading this really soft light, because you can tell it's really soft up here. It's spreading light on the inside of the yard. I think there's more than one. The one that the top of the building is catching is very soft, but if you look at the ground, the shadow from the tree and this little bush and these gates, that's actually kind of harsh. That tells me that it's an open unit with no diffusion whatsoever. They added that for texture. I think that's hitting this tree right here, and it's hitting these trees and this in the back, and obviously our main hero in the middle. I can also see that there's a warm slash of light right here from the left. I'm not sure why they did it. I mean, it adds a little bit of complexity to it. Just a little variation of color and brightness and darkness. The rest of the image is lit by these practical Christmas lights in the back. And as you can see, they're almost white, which again reinforces my guess. It was in fact shot at around 3200 Kelvin.
That South Bend Shovel Slayer.
He's wrapping everything to make it safe. Obviously, there is a light source on the left, which is really warm. This LED panel is also hitting this bubble wrap, our little statue. He's catching some hair light. It's got a bluer tone to it, so it has to be cooler than 3200 Kelvin. It looks like a big budget commercial. I don't know if it was a crane or a balloon. Could be anything that's high enough to place a light right off the frame above up there. This is also the same thing that's creating this blue ambience everywhere. It's a very even and big source. I'm pretty sure the lighting is exactly the same. Ooh, see this eye light? His eyes are catching our panel on the left. So it must be a pretty large source. It's gotta be at least 12 by 12. This is an homage to Home Alone, when Kevin meets this old man for the first time. Very simply done, very beautifully. It looks like a smaller type of fixture hitting this way because of the direction of the shadow off her feet. The reason I'm guessing this is a smaller fixture is because of the way the shadow falls off. It's really sharp right off her foot, but then as it falls off, it becomes softer. Also, you can see that here. And that usually happens when the lighting source is very small and it naturally falls off softer and softer the further away it falls from the subject that's casting it. And also they brought a little bit of fill on the front. There's no way to know for sure what fixture it is. There's a little bit of a hint of the light reflection in these little boot knuckles. It looks like a 4x frame maybe. So here we have a closer shot of Kevin. But what they did here is they brought that light over on the right side. Now I'm not so sure if it was a 12x frame. If you can see little specks of the light in his eyes, that looks like a pretty small source. It even looks like one of those Amaran square light mats that aren't that big, maybe 2x or 4x. And again, this blue ambience on his hair is coming from the same big fixture that was set up there on the crane or on a crank stand. I don't know what the budget was. Here we have pretty much the exact same setup as on Kevin. It's the same light panel hitting her face from the left, but here we have backlight. She is backlit. It's set to the same temperature as this light panel from the front because it doesn't have that blue undertone. It doesn't look like she has any top light, so probably nothing above her.
I'll call you back.
You're a jumpy one, aren't you?
This shot, even though it's almost the same as a closer shot, she's still backlit by a fixture up there that's also hitting this gate, reflecting here. In these railings, you can tell it's still the same direction. We can see that this gate in the background is lit from the left. It's evenly hitting all of these fences. The direction of the light is consistent. It's gotta be pretty big fixture too. Probably even more than one because it doesn't fall off anywhere. Actually here, it doesn't, it's gotta be a bigger source because in the closer shots, they used something that could have been like a 2x or 4x light panel. But that same light panel would not have been able to do this and also reflect here and here. So it's gotta be bigger. Again, I'm going back to my guess of at least a 12x or a 20x diffusion frame with control grid. That's important.
House.
Yeah.
Have you tried talking to her?
From this new angle, new details are revealed. They are actually street lamps that have halo on them, which is usually done with something like a black pro mist filter. But because these Christmas lights don't have as much halation as these street lamps, I'm guessing maybe they did it in post just to emulate the original Home Alone movie. That's the only justifiable reason I can think of. On the inside of the yard here, we have a 12x frame that's hitting these trees, back of his head. Supposedly, that's what's hitting her in the front. But I would say there are two lights back there because the color temperature on his back and the back of his head is cooler than what's hitting her face. Two separate fixtures side by side, one hitting him and one hitting her. That's probably the spread of the light that's hitting her face. It doesn't look like it's the same color as even this. Now that we switched to this angle, they still kept her backlit for consistency, but they definitely brought this light over way closer. You can see by a bit of halation at the side of the screen and the direction of the shadow on this little jar that it's literally up here. That's what giving her a side light and backlight. All right, that'll do it for this one. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful new year and Merry Christmas, and I'll see you next year.